What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this Bill Belichick situation and mainly some comments that that Colin Cowherd made. I thought he made some interesting comments about Bill Belichick and his and what's the young lady name? Jordan Hudson, and some of the things that have come to light as far as like what's going on with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the audio and then I'm gonna react to the audio of Colin Cowherd and give you my opinion on what's going on with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson.
So, okay. The Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson story has taken an interesting turn. So I had two strong opinions on this story. I now have three. My first opinion was bit cringy. He's 70 plus, she's 24. Then I watched the CBS interview, which she stepped in front of and like a professional said, "You're not talking about our private relationship." My second opinion was it's still age-wise a little creepy, but in college football, old Bill needs this. He just happens to be dating it too, but he needs this. Then another story came out, and skeletons are starting to be unearthed, and reporters are starting to report. There was a story in the New York Post yesterday that Jordan Hudson has amassed $8 million in real estate, multiple homes, starting at the time she started dating Bill. Who am I to pry? Another part of this story is looking back at her family who had a fishing business that went bankrupt. Her mother moved to Cape Cod and now, I'll only say this once, manages a sex toy shop and museum. Didn't know they existed. The museum part doesn't sound like the Smithsonian, but who am I to be snarky? The family's a little different. It does appear now I'll have a third opinion, which is they are both benefiting in multiple ways from each other.
All right, so I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna stop it right there for right now, right? And I agree. I think Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick is 70 something years old. And I don't think that he understands that, what he's gotten himself into. I think he understands that this relationship is kind of like I don't think it's a permanent thing, like 70 and she's 24. I don't think it's something, it's more so transactional, and like he said, since the start of their relationship, she's gotten some real estate, $8 million worth of real estate because of Bill Belichick, probably, right? So he understands, but there are some things that she brings to the table, as far as like she is familiar or she understands because like a lot of young people do. She understands like the social media and stuff like that. Whereas though somebody like Bill Belichick, who's 70 years old, he don't really, probably pay social media any attention. So she can help him out in that aspect instead of him hiring somebody who specializes in that and not having like a personal relationship, which I think that probably would have been the best way to go. But he chose to have a personal relationship with this, this young lady and still, and do business with her at the same time. I think that can go south because if at any point in time in a relationship, if she becomes disgruntled or unhappy, she can cause a lot of damage. That's the only thing about these relationships, man, with women and doing business with somebody that you in a relationship with. They know like where all the chinks in your armor are, and so they can cause a lot of damage, and so and I think also when you are doing business, like when a guy like Bill Belichick is doing business, and then you have somebody 24 years old in the room or a young lady in the room, and she has input, she has say so. Other people other business people won't really be comfortable with that because they're used to dealing, they want to deal directly with the source, and they probably don't respect her, enough. Whereas the, they want her to have any say so, so they don't respect her and they don't appreciate her, a young person like that, just intervening with, even if she was right when she said that she didn't want Bill Belichick to speak about their personal relationship. I saw the film from that, and the reporter from that, you could see it kind of, he was kind of like he was a little off put by her, chiming in. Now, let's say, for instance, if Bill Belichick had he had an older, like more media savvy type person sitting on the side, or even a lawyer. People, they used to that. They've seen that before. Like a lawyer will intervene, or your media, the person that's in charge of your media spokesperson, they'll intervene. They're like, well, we can't go there, but by her being so young, and then with them knowing that she has a personal relationship, people are kind of a little bit put off by that. So that's one thing. But and it's obvious, you can see that she's benefiting financially. Her family is probably benefiting financially from her association with Bill Belichick. So this is something that I think after a while, I think it's going to go south. It's in my opinion, it's not a matter of if it goes south. I think when, because you're dealing with somebody who is, like I said, she's only 24, and you know, she's just she's well, she's aware enough to know that this relationship between her and Bill Belichick is not really a permanent relationship. I really don't think that they are like they're gonna ride off into the sunset together. That's why, like with these relationships, um, and Bill Belichick is at an age where he, like I said, he knows that this relationship is transactional. Like, this young lady wouldn't be dealing with Bill Belichick if if it wasn't something in it for her. It's not like she likes Bill Belichick for Bill Belichick. That's not the situation. Both of these people understand. So as long as Bill Belichick is kind of, protecting himself, whereas though she won't be able to do so much damage. Like, he'll be able to just, like whatever he want her to have, he'll give it to her, and anything other than that, she won't be able to, to bring his house down, or cause too much damage. But I think Bill Belichick understands what he's dealing with. Bill Belichick is just having fun with somebody who is young. Now, do I think that Bill Belichick's situation, because a lot of people say, when you do, is his situation different from like Shannon Sharp dealing with Shannon Sharp 50, dealing with a young lady who is in her 20s. The difference, I think, between Bill Belichick and Shannon Sharp relationship, Shannon Sharp, it was not out up front and out front with this young lady. Like, he's trying to keep her in the, he's just really basically his position is more so like using her just for sex, right? So their relationship is transactional. She knows sex, and he knows money and sex, right? But he's not really, she is like, well, Shannon Sharp girl is like, she was like, I'm gonna get as much out of this situation as I can. Whereas though in Bill Belichick's situation, he's a little bit more upfront. He's like, look, I know that this is not permanent. You probably, he realizes that she wouldn't be with him if it wasn't for the money that, or the opportunity that he can present to her. So he's letting her have that out front. Whereas though Shannon Sharp is with this young lady that he was dealing with, he could have, he could have been upfront with her, and just said, well, all right, this is a transactional relationship. You can benefit, at the same time I can benefit. Because anytime anytime you're doing business with somebody, and that's both, in my opinion, that was both of these relationships are business relationships. Anytime you're doing business with somebody and one person feel like they getting shorted in it in the business deal, then it's really going to go south because they want to get the most out of what they can the most out of that business relationship. And so that's why Shannon Sharp, girl was like, man, I want to she wanted to sue him for $50 million. Whereas though this other girl that's dealing with Bill Belichick, she already got real estate out the deal. And so she's still in the, she's still working towards it. And she'll be less likely to try something like what this other Shannon Sharp girl is trying, because number one, the relationship is public. And everybody knows that it is a transactional relationship. And number two, she's already has benefited from it. So if the young lady that's dealing with Bill Belichick was to try and try the same thing that the girl, she would ruin her reputation moving forward. And then it would be hard for her to do business with anybody else. So she has something to lose now that Bill Belichick has made they've made their relationship public. She has more to lose than the other young lady who didn't have anything else to lose. So to me, that's the, whether you feel like dealing with somebody who is 30 years younger than you, and Bill Belichick probably got to be close to 50 years older than that young lady. But when you have those May, December type relationships, you got to think about like what this person is going to do in the long run to try to get compensated for their time and their services, So that's one of the differences. And I think that like if she has something to lose, and I'm referring to the young lady that is with Shannon Sharp, if she has something to lose by coming forward, then she'll be less likely to come forward. Whereas though the young lady with Bill Belichick, now she has something to lose, a lot more to lose, coming forward, and trying to smear Bill Belichick than she has to gain. She already got something out the deal as far as real estate and probably some money too. But going forward, if she want to continue to do business with other people and not really mess up her reputation, then she has to be kind of she got to be aware of that, and she wouldn't want to, if she halfway bright, she wouldn't want to do that with other young ladies. Like, look, I don't have nothing to lose, and I'm gonna go after this bag. So that's one of the main differences. And then but when you get into about the what is it like about the essay and then all that other stuff, I'm not really speaking on that because I don't know that is I mean, let's let that play out in court. But yeah, I think this, the way Bill Belichick handled his relationship with that young lady is different from the way Shannon Sharp handled his relationship. And so I just wanted to point that out. But that's my opinion. That's my take. I'm gonna still keep an eye on the Bill Belichick situation as far as like what's going to come out, because people going to be digging now into this young lady. They're already digging into her family's past. They're digging into Jordon Hudson's. They just want to know what she's got going on. And a lot of people dig Bill Belichick, right? And so they're gonna keep an eye on Jordon Hudson. And so yeah, that's my take on it. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next episode. Peace.